It's usually so easy to begin our Torah study each week. All I need to say is Shabbat Shalom. But last week the calendar dictated that I say Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach, beginning of Passover. Okay, fine. But this week is even harder. Most Reform Jews and most Israelis concluded Pesach on Friday afternoon. To them, I say now, Shabbat Shalom. Most diaspora, conservative, and Orthodox Jews observe this Shabbat as also the last day, eighth day, the last day of Pesach. So to them I say, Shabbat Shalom, v'yom acharon shel Pesach v'chag sameach. A lot of stuff. Last day of Passover. Happy Yom Tov and good Shabbos as well. And if you aren't confused enough, there is always Maimuna. Now, I was raised in the United States and I had never heard of Maimuna until recently I made Aliyah and discovered that the word referred to a warm and expansive major celebration in Israel that is observed after the last day of Passover. Exactly that. Mainly it started by North African Jews. It started overwhelmingly in the home and expanded outward and has become today in Israel a major outdoor, indoor celebration, often in the middle of the night. If you search the Chabad website, you'll find no reference to Maimuna, nothing. All that Chabad does suggest that's different and a little bit interesting, that Saturday lunch, this Saturday lunch, you should have a very special section of your lunch dedicated to concern for the immediate coming of the Messiah. A very important thing. Special dedication to the coming of the Messiah. Okay. All right. I get that. So Maimuna apparently doesn't exist technically among the Ashkenazi Hasidim. So where did Maimuna come from? Good news. We don't know. What does the word Maimuna itself mean? Same good news. We don't know. You mean it's just an occasion to celebrate? No rules, no extra prayers, just home parties and picnics and beach time? Yep. So to everybody, happy Maimuna. Have a party. It's a good deal. Even the Torah readings are affected by this year's calendar. Traditional synagogues on Shabbat will be reading from Deuteronomy 14:22 to 16:17, as well as Numbers 28:19 to 25. Typical festival Shabbat. You're going to have two Torahs for that, two Torah readings. These readings specifically deal with the Jewish ritual calendar and the observance of Passover. That makes sense. Okay. But Reform congregations this Saturday morning will be reading Leviticus 16:1 to 17:16, the Sedra known as Ahare Mot. And it's to that Sedra that we turn our thoughts this morning. So at least you know how we got here. Ahare Mot, after the death. Nadav and Avihu, two of Aaron's 4 sons, had brought an Eish Zarah, a strange fire, before God, and God struck them down on the spot. We don't know the exact nature of their sin. The rabbis debate that particular question to this very week, and I have to tell you, to this very day. What it was that had so offended God that the 2 young priests literally were instantly consumed by divine fire. Were they drunk? Were they arrogant? Were they jealous of their own father's status as Kohen Gadol, as high priest? Were they fatally narcissistic? I found a commentary adduced by Rabbi Shlomo Riskin, and I'm grateful to him, that was compellingly, painfully relevant to our lives today. Let's share it with you. Riskin quotes Rabbeinu Tzadok HaKohen of Lublin, whose dates are 1822 to 1900. Rabbi Tzadok, not Rabbi Riskin. Tzadok, 1822 to 1900. Tzadok himself quotes a famous Midrash that tells of an individual walking down life's road. To the one side, he is called out by fire, "Come to me." To the other side, he's called out by snow, "Come to me." Each side seeks to seduce him to control the choices that he will make. What is that fire? It is the fire of fanatical passion. And what is that snow? It is the snow of cold indifference, of limitless apathy, both calling to the traveler. So what's the preferred path? Rabbeinu Tzadok describes the incident of the 12 spies, you remember that, as one that epitomizes the path of cold apathy, cynicism, and indifference. You remember, all 12 of the spies saw the goodness of the land, but 10 of them focused only on the negatives. They spoke of giants in the land, and they referred to themselves, we were like grasshoppers in their eyes. They spoke of the challenges confronting a group of desert wanderers who would seek to establish a permanent political homeland for themselves. So the 10 spies convinced the Israelites to just not bother. Why make the effort? Let's go back to Egypt and enjoy the cold comfort of servitude. Who needs religious challenges? Who needs political challenges? Who needs to create a value system of justice, of freedom, of equality, and of love? Who needs to be motivated by idealism, by desire to make the world a better place? Why should we bother? Why should we even care? And what about the seductive call of fire? Here, Rabbeinu Tzadok speaks of our Sedra. Even as Nadav and Avihu carried out their unwelcome act, they were surrounded by the masses of the Israelites who were joyously celebrating the dedication of the Mishkan and the tabernacle and the consecration of the priests. There was so much pomp and circumstance. Oh my God, those magnificent priestly garments. The astonishing, breathtaking moment when fire descended from the heavens to consume the dedicatory sacrifice. The people were exultant. They were in awe. And then said Rabbeinu Tzadok, Nadav and Avihu were caught up in that passion, and they went too far. They were overwhelmed by a frenzied desire to do more than was asked, to do more than what was expected, to do more than what was acceptable. Unbridled ecstasy gripped them. They had become fanatics, and that could not be permitted. What choice should the traveler take? On the one side, there is a radical dismissal of the possibility that we can bring positive change to our world, that we can overcome real obstacles, that our efforts do matter, that we don't have to be trapped in indifference. That's one side. And on the other side, a call to embrace a radicalism that leaves no room for compromise, that gives understanding of the other no role in our decision-making, that sees no limits to our pursuit of what we have decided. We have decided to be God's will. No room for an absolute moral necessity that tolerates no questioning, no humility, no compassion. We are living right now through a period in which radical Islamicists have embraced fiery, ruthless radicalism in the pursuit of truth as they alone know it. We weep for the hundreds of innocent lives lost in Sri Lanka, with full knowledge that this won't be the last massacre in the name of boundless fanaticism. But we are also feeling a profound cynicism. And if I've just invented this, if there can be such a thing, a total commitment to indifference in our own country. Nothing we can do will matter. So why bother? The political system is beyond repair. Our votes don't count equally. Our sitting leadership is in so many ways repugnant to many of us. We don't trust our political parties to rise above a total embrace of whatever serves their needs at no matter what cost to our nation's well-being. Cold indifference numbs us to what otherwise we might feel to be absolute despair. Riskin quotes Maimonides at this point. The correct path for the traveler for us is neither the fanaticism or the cold, cynical indifference. It is the Shvil HaZahav, the golden mean, the golden pathway, to reject fanaticism and to reject cynicism, and to embrace instead an activism regarding our world that keeps the prophetic vision of justice and equality and humility and respect and love ever before us. We won't accept our imperfect world just as it is. We can't accept our imperfect world just as it is. Such an acceptance contradicts the core of what we deeply believe Torah tells us God demands of us. But ours cannot be the snowy path of the 10 spies. And ours must not be the fiery path of Nadav and of Avihu. For us as travelers in life, ours is the path of holiness, to live as closely as we can according to the noblest, most humane values we know. Okay, that's it for today. I wish all of you, whatever they are, the special joys of this weekend. And please, while you're choosing the golden mean, hit share so that others might join us.